Done this for a while. All right, we are recording. Hey everybody, welcome to our regularly scheduled Tuesday night team call that has been a little sporadic lately. Due to my crazy travel schedule, we'll have a call this week and we will have a call next week. The week after that, I will be in Colorado with Josh Spencer and Mike Ryan and Jimmy Nelson and a bunch of other people who you may or may not know. But got a pretty good group of guys going skiing. I'm sure you'll be shocked. And a trip I'm looking forward to. We had a lot of fun last year in Whistler, and this year we're off to Breck. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Tonight I'm going to talk primarily about the Beachbody On Demand and the changes that are kind of coming and what all this means and how I think you can leverage it. Before I do that, just a couple of announcement type things. The first one is January specials. For the challenge pack, we have Insanity Max 30. That's regularly $205. It's $180 this month. Very, very hot program right now. Obviously, people are starting to post results from their 30-day, and that always seems to help push people over the edge if they need a push. Also, 21-day fix challenge pack is $140. That's regularly $160. And the 3-day refresh challenge pack is $140 as well. It would normally be $160. The reason I mentioned those two, I don't always go over specials, although I think it's important early in the month, is to understanding how to leverage those challenge packs and how to leverage Shakeology. If you start a conversation with somebody about Shakeology, and that's where the conversation really starts, in other words, that's what they're really after, it's such an easy upsell to get them to do the 3-day refresh or the 21-day fix for $10 more. Okay, that's a really easy challenge pack upsell that you get, which also gets them started on the Team Beachbody Club, which is what I'm going to talk about tonight, is club and how all that works and the history of it. So I just want to keep you focused on that. Those are the 3 challenge pack specials for this month. Training program going on right now is Success Club All-Stars. Monica and Julie Schulte are primarily running that group. I'm going to be in the group and involved with it, but Monica and Julie are the ones running that group. It's basically an accountability group. They're focused on the basics and really providing the accountability you need to just stay in what we would call phase 1, which is really just focusing on doing the basics, packing your groups with people so that you have enough people to eventually become coaches, because I think, as most of us have experienced, customers eventually do go on to become coaches. So if you're interested in that, email Monica at ward5000.com. That's Monica at ward5000.com. And she'll send you the application for that. Next thing, Team Beachbody Cup is coming up next month. The registration opens for that on the 19th. So if you're going to be on a cup team, consider who you want to be your mates. You can have no more than 1 diamond per cup team. So something to keep on your mind there. The next thing is the pending launch of the 21-day fix extreme. I think it's going to be huge. If you've been watching my calls for the last couple of weeks, I have been talking to you about how to position this and how to do a really proper product launch on it. And hopefully you're well into the little game you're playing with your customers if this is going to be a big product for you. If you're really focused on Max 30, I think that's totally fine. I think you got to look at what you do well and where your sweet spot is. And for some people, that's going to be Insanity Max 30, and you should just stick there and reap all the rewards of that. If you're doing that program, you got a bunch of people doing that program. Don't abandon them to go off and do the 21-day fix extreme if it's something that's totally far afield for you. Stick with what you know. One of the challenges in our business nowadays, and I'm going to talk about some of the history of it, but we used to have not enough products. Now we've got a ton of products, and it's hard to be a master of all. And I don't recommend that you try and do that. I recommend that you pick a few that are really your sweet spot, and you stay there, and you get people excited and passionate about those products. Don't chase every product release that comes out. I don't think that is going to do a really good job of communicating to people that you want to help them. I think it can come off very easily come off as you're just trying to make a sale. And I don't think that's what we're trying to do here. And I don't think that is who we are. The 21-day fix happens to be Monica's, probably ultimate sweet spot right now. So I'm trying to figure out a way to promote that and her, which is why I am participating in this 21-day fix stuff. So if you haven't seen those calls, go to youtube.com/FCN Coach Training And you'll find all the archives of the team calls there. And you can go back and look and kind of see what I'm doing with that. I think that'll work for any product release, but it's particularly relevant for 21 Day Fix Extreme. All right, so let's get into this on-demand thing. And before I do, I want to just caution you by being really distracted by this. This is not something that is happening tomorrow. We are a ways away from delivering a lot of online content. I'm going to talk to you about what is being included in the club membership and then how I see this playing out in the future. But we're not like tomorrow people are going to be buying Insanity Max 30 and it's going to be streaming over the internet. And you're certainly not going to be a club member and streaming Insanity Max 30, okay? So I just want to like really caution you against getting too distracted by this. It's not a bad idea necessarily to do a launch style approach to it the way that I did with the 21 Day Fix Extreme. And I'm sort of starting to do that already, just teasing people with it like, hey, you know, wow, Beachbody's streaming workouts. And earlier I posted a picture of me getting ready for this call when my kids were doing their homework. And somebody said, you know, you're playing around online. I was like, no, I'm actually trying to get ready to explain how this new online streaming format from Beachbody is going to work. And we'll see if she asks me a question about it or not. But it's a good idea to sort of chum the water with that. You don't have anything to sell anybody right now. So there's no reason to get super, super excited and super, super distracted. It could hurt you if what you're doing is really focusing on the 21 Day Fix Extreme. I wouldn't spend a lot of time talking about this, and I won't spend a lot of time talking about this. So I don't have a product for people yet. Okay, it's a cool concept, and that's really where it's going to be for a little while. So don't get distracted by this. Okay, just listen to what I'm saying, and then I think once you get into the process, this whole thing is going to unfold in a way that I think is going to be really beneficial for us. I'm actually really super excited about this. So the first thing is, let me give you a little bit of background, because I think what happens every time corporate makes some sort of a change is there's just a lot of concern, right? Because, oh, we're doing something new. New can very easily be perceived as bad. So I want to talk to you about some of the changes that have happened over the years and what's happened as a result. So the network, it was launched in 2007, in March of 2007, and they gave us the club membership right away. So we've always had a club membership, and the club membership, you know, seemed like, hey, this actually could be a really good income opportunity, and I'll explain how that's the case later. But the problem with the club membership, it didn't have a lot of value. I mean, you know, for a long time, I was sort of in a position of, and some of you have heard this from me, do I need to be a club member is the question. Well, if you want to get, here's what's in the club, and if you find value in that, yes, but do you need to be a club member? No, you don't need to be a club member to get my coaching. You don't need to be a club member to be a coach. Now, if you're an Emerald coach, yeah, you should be a club member so you're getting leads. And that was kind of the end of the value of the club. So we didn't focus on it. We really didn't focus on it. We let it be what it was, which was, you know, if you want a 10% discount, here's the math on that. There's some other things that you like that you're using. Super awesome. Go for it. If you don't find it valuable, though, you know, I'm not going to stop working with you if you cancel your club membership. And that's kind of always the way we've approached the club. In 2009, Shakeology was released, again, around March of 2009. And people thought it was crazy. You know, I was at that summit where they released it, and it was like, no way is anybody going to pay at the time it was 120, now it's 130, $100 a month for a shake? Like, what kind of a shake is it? Like, you know, I mean, what does the shake do for you? Well, we've seen what it does, and we've seen the economic generator that it was. And in the beginning, there were a lot of people who fought it. In 2010, they came out with Success Club as a concept. We didn't have Success Club before 2010. And I remember there were a lot of people, and there are still a few kind of old guard, I guess, coaches who've been around a long time who predate Success Club and who haven't adopted it in their business. I will tell you that Success Club is what fundamentally changed our business. That is what the turning point was for us, was when Success Club came in. I now had something to do every month, and I had something to teach people to do every month that grows your business and puts money in your pocket. That has been, for us, that was the tipping point of, wow, okay, here's what we do. We just focus on this, and we teach people how to do this. And it revolutionized our business completely. That year was the year we were top 10 because we just got it. And it was like, don't fight Success Club, make Success Club. And that's what we've tried to teach people. In 2011 and 2012, the challenge group concept and the 5-step invitation process that we teach now were developed. Ryan Chapman, and I think also on the Success Club point, I think Todd Midget is another guy who, really just dove in with Success Club and it changed his business. And Ryan's done that too with Success Club, but really where Ryan took off was when the challenge group concepts came out, and again, there were a lot of people, including me. I was very skeptical of this. I was like, this is just another thing, and what are we going to do? And Ryan jumped right in right away and said, no, I think there's something to this. This makes a lot of sense to me. I'm going to start organizing challenge groups. And he and I started brainstorming on a bunch of different types of challenge groups that he could form, with his triathlon community and a lot of other things. And that really revolutionized his business, totally engaged him. And what did he do? He went around and he taught people how to form challenge groups. And if you're on Team Rhino, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is what he teaches: Success Club and challenge groups. I can't tell you for certain that this is that kind of a seminal moment, but I kind of can't believe that it isn't. If you just think about the evolution of Blockbuster versus Netflix, Blockbusters are shutting down everywhere because they had DVDs and Netflix started streaming stuff online. So and people have been really clamoring for this for a really long time. So another thing I sort of think is a little funny about the way people are fighting this a little bit, or maybe they're in the leadership group, there's a lot of people who are kind of resistant to it. It's really funny. People have been, calling for Beachbody to make this change for a really long time. And when they do it, instantly it's like, oh no, change. We don't like change. So let me go through and explain to you what the change is that's being made, and then the things that I heard on a 5-star leadership call that Carl did with us when they first unveiled this. Okay, so the first thing that you have to understand is what they're doing now, okay, is beta testing this process to be able to make sure they can deliver the content. So in January, the 2014 elite coaches, including Monica and I from last year, are going to have a chance, I think Wednesday, to get in there and use this system and see how it works, okay? That's the thing. And then the people who make Success Club in January, during the month of February, will have the same access. Okay? And I think the elites will probably as well. So add some more people to the system and see what happens. Does it crash the system? Do we need major tech upgrades? Can we even pull this off? Who's getting access to this thing the first 2 months? It's just the elite coaches and people who make Success Club during January. That should be a pretty good incentive to make Success Club, I think. I already have, but I'm pretty, if I wasn't an elite, I'd be pretty happy knowing that I'm going to be able to have access to that next month and get a jump start on some new technology, which is, pretty cool, I think. What do you get? Okay. So when it goes live, all right, when it goes live for the general public, and not general public, when it goes live for club members, okay, coaches or customers, for club members, when it goes live, the price will stay the same, but you will be able to stream the following workouts: Hip Hop Abs, Volume 1 of Tony Horton's One-on-One, Volume 1 of Asylum, Shalene Extreme, 10-Minute Trainer, Les Mills Pump, Les Mills Combat, Insanity, and P90X 1, 2, and 3. The only workout on there that I still sell a fair amount of is P90X 3. So I don't see this really impacting my sales. Here or there, maybe you have the odd Insanity, but I'm not actively organizing a 10-minute trainer group or trying to get people fired up about doing Volume 1 of Tony Horton's One-on-One. I have those workouts. They're awesome workouts, and it's actually really fun to see Tony work out in his home. It's the kind of thing that people wouldn't necessarily buy at $20 a pop or $120 for the whole package, but when you put it in the club, all of a sudden the club has a tremendous amount of value. So what they've done here is they've taken a program that didn't have a lot of value for a long time. It wasn't something I could get behind. I mean, we did the math really early, and I was like, wow, these residual commissions, and I'll get into that in a minute. The residual commissions are awesome, but the value isn't there. So I don't want my people spending their money there. I want them spending it somewhere where they're getting a lot of value. That's what they've done with the club, is they have made the club membership tremendously valuable by putting all of these different programs in there. Now, earlier I talked to you about how the Challenge Pack special this month is, well, the two of them are 21-day fix and 3-day refresh for basically $10 more than Shakeology. There's a club membership challenge pack. So this is going to be the world's easiest upsell ever. Is people who are interested in just Shakeology, I'm going to be telling them, hey, by the way, did you know for $10 more, you can get access to all of these programs, including P90X3. And I was initially kind of disappointed to see P90X3 there because we do sell some of those, but that is going to be exactly the pitch that I have. That's the upsell. Get P90X3 in their hands for an extra $10. What does that do for you? Get somebody started on a club membership, which I'm going to explain the structure of in a minute, but it's a residual. Okay, if you sell one P90X3, you make $30. If you get somebody on a club membership, you get paid as long as they don't cancel their club membership. Now, for most people, that's gonna end up getting you more money in the end. So I'm actually really happy I was talking with Ryan Chapman earlier, and we're like, well, maybe having X3 is the hammer, and because maybe you've already got Insanity, maybe you're not really excited about hip hop abs. One-on-one actually I think is pretty cool, and Asylum I think is pretty cool as well. But even the Les Mills workouts are great workouts. They haven't sold particularly well. I haven't sold a ton of them. To have it in the club now as something that my customers can go in and kind of mix and match a lot of this different stuff might get them excited about trying. If they go in, maybe they've never done Insanity before, and they go in and they start doing some of the Insanity workouts and go, well, this is cool. It's a little too hard. What about I buy T25? It's, I think, a really great way to introduce people to a wide variety of programs. And at the end of the day, what we're about is getting people results. And this is a way for more people to get results, having access to these specific workouts online. So I want to just make sure I'm really crystal clear about that, because when I watched the Super Saturday video, I was still up in Canada. I was actually on the bus, and I was grinding my gears about the whole thing because I was like, how can they have access to the whole library for the same price as a club membership? It's a little over the top and swinging the pendulum of value back the other way. It's just these programs that I mentioned earlier. I think there's 10 of them. And that's where we're going to start. So that'll probably be in April, maybe March. Depends on kind of how the initial testing goes with the elites and the people who make Success Club in January. So let me kind of give you the details. These are my notes from the call that Carl did, just so I can kind of make sure I don't leave anything out. The first thing, what he called it was a beta program. And he initially said, we're going to be beta testing this thing until the end of the year. And then he said, well, hopefully until Summit. That tells me that they're going to take this thing slowly. We're going to start with just the club membership, exactly what I just talked about. Same price for club. It's just what's basically added is all of the streaming content from those workouts that I mentioned. And that's where we're going to start, and then it's going to see how it scales up. And hopefully, I think his idea is by Summit, he wants to be able to announce that we're going to be streaming more content online. So if you're a club member, what that doesn't mean, at least as far as I'm being told, and again, details of this, we don't have all the details of what they're going to do. I just have, indications that I've got. It'll be a situation where you could buy Insanity Max 30 in DVD format and then pay an additional fee to unlock the streaming workouts. Or you could just buy Insanity Max in online format. They're going to have all the guides, the nutrition guides, the workout schedules, whatever comes in the box. All that stuff will be included online in just PDF format. They can buy it either way. I don't know what the cost structure is going to be on that. I can't imagine why it would be any different. I mean, it's a little bit cheaper, I guess, for them because they don't have to ship and they don't have to press DVDs, and it's certainly a cost saver. But if they can charge $120 for Insanity Max 30, why wouldn't they? So I don't think there's a big impact on bottom line as far as these newer programs go. Now, if they start packing the club with all of our new workouts and it's $40 a quarter for access to all of our workouts, I think that's a really bad deal, and I would fight tooth and nail to stop that. But that's not what they're saying they're going to do. What they're saying they're going to do is give the club membership this added benefit. Meanwhile, beta testing, being able to really provide newer workouts on a streaming format. That seems like a real net benefit to me. And so some of the other notes, what else did I miss? I covered the challenge pack. I covered the elite thing. Yeah, so those are kind of my notes from the 5 stars of stuff that I didn't cover already. So let's get into this club membership deal and talk about what you get with the club and how the club all works, because I think a lot of people are maybe a little bit confused by how the club membership works and the cost structure of it and the compensation we get. So it's pretty simple. If you have a customer or a coach that's a club member, you get half of their dues. So what that means is that it costs them $38.87 per quarter. So it's billed quarterly. A lot of times you'll hear it broken down where it's $3 a week or $2.99 a week or something like that. It's not billed that way, and I've never really positioned it that way because I just always could see, my customers kind of getting frustrated if they got billed for $40. Well, what is this? Well, that's your $3 a week. It's just we build you all at once. So I just tell people this is the cost per quarter. Of that, I get half of that. So that's $19.43, I guess, right? Something like that. It's just half of whatever the club memberships are. So the point is that stuff all adds up. All right, it really does. If you look at over time how many people get involved with club, and this is like, we haven't been pushing the club at all. I mean, I haven't sold just a specific club membership where I'm talking to somebody about nothing else. I don't remember ever doing that, where I'm like, oh, the main benefit here is you need to be a club member. Well, now I've got products basically that I can sell. And so what they get in exchange for that, in addition to the online streaming content and everything else that is in the club, and there's FAQs on this stuff, and you guys should go look at the FAQs and really familiarize yourself with the club and all the meal planning that they have in there and calorie calculators and access to, some exclusive stuff. Go check out and see what's in there. But now we have this new product that is a continuity product. In other words, it's like getting on Home Direct. Once you're a club member, they're going to keep billing you until you cancel your club membership. Club members get a 10% discount on products. So our margin on Shakeology gets cut out a little bit, and that's offset by us getting half of those club dues. So if you have just your average customer who's on for 12 months, that earns you about $155. I'm sorry, that earns Beachbody about $155, of which you get half, which is about 77. I have the math, or 77, 74 if you're taking diligent notes. So that's what your average club member is going to get you. So you can see already, if they stay on the club for a year, you're making more money than you would if they bought that P90X3, unless they bought it as a challenge pack. So that offset for maybe something like a P90X3 is really not that big of a deal, because people do stay on the club for a long time. I mean, you just have to think about how people, how many things have you been on auto pay for, and it goes on and on and on and on and on. I know I'm on for a bunch of them. There's a bunch of plugins that I use for our website, for example, and they're $4 or $5 a month when they add up at the end of the year. And I look at how much money I'm paying these people, kind of go, wow, I guess it's worth it, and it's a business expense, but it adds up. All this stuff adds up. And these residual commissions are that way too. So just to give you some ideas of, if you were to just get 5 new club members every month. So let's say you sell, 5 club member challenge packs, or 5 challenge packs, period, right? Because that puts them on club too. So you got to remember that every time you sell a challenge pack, you're including in that price a club membership. So this is, again, just more incentive to even another way to make these additional commissions is, by selling challenge packs. If you're not selling challenge packs, you're missing out on this club commission. It's just sitting there, waiting to be scooped up. So 15 club memberships get you about $290 per quarter. That's what 15 of them is. So if you can get 5 a month in the first 3 months of the year, that's going to be the money that you're recovering that in that quarter, right? So 15 is $291. And these numbers are just kind of me, messing around with numbers. You get up to, if you keep getting club memberships, which has happened for us over the years. For those of you guys who have multiple business centers, if you're not collecting customers in multiple business centers, you're really missing out. You got to be emerald in all those business centers at least in order to get leads for those business centers, and those leads convert to club memberships. So, if you can get it up to, if just look at 100 club members, right, over time is about $2,000 a quarter, which is like, $7,700 a year. So there's a fair amount of money to be made in these club memberships, and I'm sort of trying to figure out how many club memberships I have, and they have a report that you can print, but it will show you your total number of club memberships, not just active people. So I sent an email off to Coach Relations to try and figure out how do I get the report on who my active club members are and how much commission I'm earning on those quarterly, those quarterly payments. So the point being here, I guess a couple things. The first and foremost one is don't get distracted by this. This is cool, and it's going to happen, and there's going to be kinks and bugs and all kinds of things that need to get worked out. When it's worked out, go release it to the club members. What they're going to get is some additional content. What we're going to get is basically a new product we can sell, which is a high value club membership, and then that $140 club membership challenge pack. That was a big concern when they started floating this idea was, yeah, we're going to lose challenge packs. We can see this one coming. So they gave us another challenge pack, and that's $140. It's just $10 more, for somebody to be able to access all that extra content. I just think that's going to be a super, super easy upsell when we get there, because I can probably pick one program you don't have that maybe you're interested in. And it may just be something like combat that I never sell. And so maybe it's X3. Maybe that's the one that pushes you over the top. I was talking actually today to a coach, and he was like, I kind of want that program. Maybe, this would be a good way to get it. Well, okay, great. Awesome. Go get it. So I think it's a really good development. I'm excited about it. I do think it has the potential, if we do things right and Beachbody can deliver the content and we learn how to position the club membership better, I do think that it's going to be something that will really benefit us. And in the long run, we had to go in this direction. I mean, we just, we were going to get left behind. I actually have a laptop that doesn't have a DVD player on it. And I've been kicking around buying an external DVD so that I can work out when I go on vacation. But most of the workouts I know well enough. I just need some weights and I'm good to go. But it would be cool to be able to just stream the thing off the internet. And I think ultimately will be very cool. So I'm excited about the development. I'm excited about kind of where we're going with it. Once we get to the point where we're getting close to what I would consider to be a launch for club members, we'll do the same thing that we're doing with the 21-Day Fix Extreme right now, which is that I'll walk you through a product launch and how a product launch works. And we'll get a lot of interest in this, and you'll probably get a lot of club memberships. You'll probably get a lot of existing customers who upgrade to that club membership. So you've already made a sale to them. Now they're going to upgrade to this club membership, and over time, those club memberships add up, and the residual commissions kind of keep rolling in. I got a couple minutes here, so I'm going to do a Q&A if that doesn't get crazy. If it gets crazy, I might have to not. So if you don't have a question, mute yourself. I'm going to give you just a minute to mute yourself. And then I'll open it. I'll have to unmute everybody. Or maybe let's do this. So we have quite a few people on here. So put it in the chat box. So type in the chat box if you have a question. And if I can answer it, I will. If I can't, I'll go get you an answer. Because this is all kind of new. Somebody must have a question. Okay, Cindy's question, good question. The club challenge pack for $140, it gets them on a club membership. Okay, so that gets them on a club membership. So the next quarter they get billed, just the same way a challenge pack works. Challenge packs get them on the club membership, and then they get billed the following quarter. So it's up to us to get our people engaged, so when they see that charge, they don't go, freak out. I don't understand your question, Bob. The incremental challenge pack gives Success Club points. What do you mean by that? Yeah, the club challenge pack, is 2 Success Club points. It's just another challenge pack. So, I like to start as many conversations as I can with Shakeology. We're going to get to the fitness because that's what they know us for. So I try to start as many as I can with Shakeology. It doesn't always go there, but I think that if you can start a conversation with Shakeology and get somebody where they need to go, then it's just a really easy, hey, for $10 more, you get all this stuff. And so it becomes a 2 Success Club points. Yeah. All right, Phyllis. Yeah, I'm afraid that streaming is going to, Phyllis's comment is, I'm afraid that streaming will be bogged down and delayed. I'm afraid of that too. That's why we're doing it in a staggered format. And, where we're, giving it to the elites first, who have a real vested interest in making sure it's good, and giving it to us first, and then opening it up to people who make Success Club, who also have a vested interest in making it and making sure it's good and making the thing work. I am going to tell you right now, it's probably going to be super buggy in the beginning. I'm glad they're not opening it up to everybody that made Success Club. I'm glad it's just, the 200 people that made Elite, and maybe the Premier too, I don't know. But yeah, because I am worried about that, super worried about that. But that's not, I can't, that's not my problem, and that's why I'm not trying to sell it right now. But I don't have anything to sell somebody, and I don't have anything that works. What I have right now is a great concept. If they can't deliver on it, then the club hasn't changed for me. I'll talk about the club the same way. Yeah, they're streaming workouts, they don't work. I mean, I'm not, it's not something I'm going to get real hung up on. Yeah, Sophie is asking access to Europe. I don't know. If it is access in Europe, it's not going to be a commissionable sale because we don't work over there. So Beachbody might be delivering content to people in Europe via online streaming. I don't know. But we're only in the US and Canada, so not yet. Yeah, Bob, good question. Will all the nutrition plans for the workouts? Yeah, nutrition plan schedules, everything's going to be available via PDF. At least that's what they told us on the 5-star call with Carl. So you should be able to buy a soup to nuts, full-blown copy of whatever the program is. As long as you have access to the internet, you'll be able to get stuff. All right, Cindy, people who buy a challenge pack, they don't get the free. Oh, yeah, I don't think so. The question is will they have to subscribe to the club with that challenge pack? Again, I don't have the mechanics of it down. I think we're going to have to focus on the finer points when we actually have a product. This is, again, like a pre-release. I'm not sure how that's going to work. I would imagine, though, they're subscribing to the club when they get a club challenge pack. So it's not, I don't think it's going to work that way. All right, Jen Thatcher. They cancel their club membership. Are they still allowed to stream the programs that they originally paid for, or do they all go away? Again, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I would say, I don't know. I mean, we're too far away for me to answer that question. I just don't know how they're going to deliver the content. I mean, the logical thing to me is if you cancel your club membership, and you shouldn't need to buy a club membership necessarily to even get into that program. I mean, if it was me and I was running it, I would say, okay, if you want to buy Insanity Max 30 and you want to stream it online exclusively, you don't need to be a club member. If you don't want the other stuff that's in the club, you don't need that. You can just have your one program here. If you buy it, you buy it. That's how I would run it. I have no idea how they're going to run it, though. I mean, we're really far away from that. You guys got to again, this is where I started with, because it's very easy to get distracted by these things and start coming up with all these scenarios of if then, what it, but and who and how and why and, which dial are we going to turn here? I don't want you guys distracted with it right now. It's just not, it's a cool announcement. It's a huge added value to the club membership. It potentially could revolutionize our business. When it does, I want to be ready. But for now, we're dealing with a concept, and I really hope they can pull it off and deliver the content in a way that is cool and works and makes people happy, and that, gets more people excited about our company and what we're doing. Okay, another question. Yeah, that's where I get, so Bob's question, I thought the Super Saturday video, I'll just go out and tell you, I thought it was horrible. It was totally confusing. Bob is saying they showed images of other programs like the 21-Day Fix. And that's where I was just sitting on the bus going, I have no cell service, I can't call anybody. I just have now an 8-hour bus ride where I get to think about what a disaster this is, basically. And yeah, they're not going to put, I would say, these high value targets like that in the club membership yet. Now, in a year, when no one's buying 21-Day Fix anymore, if that happens, I don't know, by then you've got 21-Day Fix Volume 2 or something better that people are off, then maybe they slip it in there. Sure, I could see them, retiring programs into the club membership. And that is fine with me. Like I said, the only one on that list that I read off that I really make sales of is X3. And as I think about it, it's kind of like a constant sale of P90 X3 is one way to kind of think about that. So, what they've told us, what Carl told us on the 5-star call was that, those programs are not going to be included in the club membership at this cost structure. So there may be a new cost structure that they come up with, but they're not just going to give away money. You gotta kind of think about it from a practical standpoint. They're not in the business of making life harder for coaches. They're not in the business of losing or making a less profit margin. They're in the business of making us happy so that everybody can make more sales. So that's how I'm assuming they're going to proceed with it. Am I expecting some rough patches along the way? Yeah, of course. It's a new thing. I mean, it's a new concept, a new way for people to consume the content. And I don't know how well it's going to be received. It might just totally flop, and everybody's wrong and people hate Netflix and they want their Blockbuster back. I don't know. I don't know, but okay. Another question. Yeah, just reiterating, you're going to be getting Success Club points for that club membership challenge pack. So to me, it's great. I mean, as far as Success Club goes, that's just going to be such a no-brainer, easy upgrade because I can't always get there with somebody, for example, this month where we've got the 21-day fix and 3-day refresh at that $140 price point. If I'm talking to somebody who isn't interested in the 21-day fix and doesn't really care about the 3-day refresh, I've got all these other programs. I mean, I could be talking to somebody really hardcore and it's like, yeah, but have you ever done Asylum? No, it's in there. I mean, you could get access to Asylum Volume 1 via the club. It's $10 more for a whole new program. So, I think it's going to give us a lot of options. And, even Shalene Extreme is in there. A lot of people who are going to transition from, maybe they bought TurboFire. They heard Shalene Extreme was okay, but, when nobody, went nuts for it, or at least not a lot of people went nuts for it. I know there's some of you out there. I'm going to get some hate mail on that one. So, but, that's an easy sort of transition, I guess, for people. So it's pretty exciting to me. But what other questions do you guys have? If I can answer them, I will. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anybody. Any other questions? Okay, I'll kind of wrap up. If something comes up, I'll answer it. Again, my big message here is get excited about this. It's an awesome concept. We're very early in the stages of it. It's not something that is particularly imminent. And I think if you really promote it right now, you're going to get more questions than you can answer. I mean, you can see even on this call, I'm just kind of trying to explain it to you guys, and I have questions I can't answer. And that's what you're going to end up with. And I think that's just bad, Yeah, Cindy, as far as I know, it's available in Canada. They did not say anything about that on the, let me just make sure. I'll tell you what, though. I'll follow up with that, Cindy. That's a good question. I can't imagine why not, unless Canada has some, weird rules, which I can't imagine Canada. Canada's such a, they don't like rules in Canada. Yeah, I think so. I think it is going to be available in Canada. I think they would have made a big deal of on that 5-star call and really everywhere that if it wasn't going to be available in Canada, I think they would have made a lot of noise about that and made sure that we know that. But I'll confirm. That's a good question. So where was I? Oh yeah, just don't get too distracted by it. It's something to get excited about. Something coming down the pipeline that I think is going to be awesome. Has a chance to be one of these, big milestones in our business where, things start to go nuts because of a new, business practice. I hope that's what it is. I'm excited about it. I think it's really positive. I think the club membership has just gone way up in value. And, we're going to be continuing to work and adapt. I mean, one of the things I said in my initial comments about this thing is, adapting is what we do best. We're not so entrenched in any one thing that if Facebook says you can't use Facebook anymore, we could pretty easily find a new home. And we would. And this is just the same thing. It's a new thing. We're gonna work with it, make sure it works. Once I can be confident that the content is going to get delivered in a way that, is something that I can stand behind, then it's going to be a great time to promote the club. And I'm excited about that. It's like having a new program. And so I'm pretty excited about the idea right now. I think you should be focused on either Insanity Max 30, if that's your thing, or the 21-day fix extreme, if that's your thing, or whatever your workout of choice is. I think you should just be focused on getting people into those programs, getting people going and started now, when you have a real chance to reach them in a deep way. People's minds are really open. We talked a lot about this time of year back in November, if you remember, and I talked a lot about how that time between Halloween and Thanksgiving, the collective consciousness of society turns to stuff in your face, and it just comes full circle right now. And right now you've got people who are really open-minded to getting engaged. I would just focus on that. Let this thing play out. Let this thing take care of itself. If you want to chat with me in the next couple of weeks and see what I think about it, I'm happy to do that. If I get in there and it's really, really awesome, I may even do like a screen flow for you guys or something like that and show it to you. If I get in there and it's rubbish, then it's going to be back to the drawing board and they're going to have to do this thing. The one thing I did leave out, though, is Carl was pretty excited about the guy that they brought in to spearhead this. And he's the guy who opened Hulu. So he's the guy who spearheaded Hulu's effort to stream content online. So the guy knows a lot about what he's talking about. And he knows a lot about how to deliver this content. So that's a good sign that, they're really dedicated to it. They've been working on this for quite a while. And, I think that, like I said, it's a cool development. It's a cool concept. Are we going to have to make sure they can deliver on it? Yeah. And that's why we're doing this the way we're doing it. And again, if it's garbage, then I won't promote the club. Then nothing's changed, basically. If it's great, then we've got a whole new ball game and the ability to make a lot of sales for people who want stuff now. I don't know about you. I like getting my stuff as quickly as possible. It's why I'm an Amazon Prime member. It's because I don't like waiting for stuff. And if you give me the option of, do you want a DVD mailed to you or do you want to download this now? I'm far more likely to purchase. I mean, that's just me. I can get it right now. Oh, I'm in. And I think that takes advantage of a lot of people's, the way people shop. And then just the ability to stream it online, I just think is, with Wi-Fi everywhere now, is pretty cool. And I think it's an awesome development. But we'll keep talking about it more. If you do end up having questions, post them in the group. I'll leave this post pinned to the top. I'll put the recording here pinned to the top. Just put a comment on there. If I know the answer, I will answer it. If I don't, I'll go ask. And I will go ask on this Canada thing as well and just confirm, but I'm pretty sure that is the case. So with that, good night. Nice to see you guys again. It's good to be home. And I will talk to you again next week. And then the week after that, we're off because I will be in Colorado. All right, everybody. Have a great night.